Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back to recap and analyze this Pittsburgh Steelers Week 18 regular season finale win over the Baltimore Ravens 16-13 in overtime. Mark this one down as another Steelers Ravens classic. So fitting for Ben's final game against Baltimore. And as of this recording, about 6 p.m. here on Sunday, so still the Sunday night game to go. But assuming the Raiders and Chargers do not tie in that game, Pittsburgh will be in the postseason as the seventh and final seed. Bonkers day. Let's talk about it. I gotta be honest, since I write for Steelers Depot and taken more of the analytical kind of job approach to it, I don't typically get as amped up for these games as I used to whenever I was in high school and stuff like that, or before I started working for Steelers Depot. But I was so nervous for this game, so shaking, so emotional in this one, more so in this game than really probably any other in literally years. I can't remember the last time I was so amped and I wanted Pittsburgh to win last week, obviously against the Browns, but that was not the sweating, nervous heart coming out of your chest kind of game. It was close to that, but just not the same. And so this game just kind of grabbed me, even different than last week from an emotional fan level. Obviously because of what this would have meant for the playoff situation, and you hate for Jacksonville to beat the Colts and the Steelers lose to the Ravens, and just to lose on that note, and what a horrible way to go out. And so very happy and thankful Pittsburgh's postseason hopes will, assuming nothing crazy happens tonight, be alive. But more to the point in this game, I've talked about it for a while now. The Steelers' really key to success is the first half defense and keeping that score down. And so if the offense kind of has time to get its act together to some degree and figure things out, and usually go into a more passing mode and spread the ball out kind of a deal. And so again, first half defense has been so critical. Any game Pittsburgh's won this year, or virtually any game, has been about the first half defense keeping that score down, making sure there isn't a blowout or a big deficit created by halftime, I should say. And so you can tell my voice is cracking. It's just a crazy game. It's so emotional. I usually don't get like this, but wow, it's just really really crazy. But yeah, to the point defensively, the first half defense in particular, repeated stops on third down, the turnovers, the sacks, the pressure. Even when Baltimore would get a little bit of a drive going, Pittsburgh would make sure that it would stall out, and so that was such a key component to this game. That defensive play overall, but I think in the first half especially, has been one of the main ingredients to Pittsburgh's success. Have to give a ton of credit to TJ Watt with his 22 and a half sacks on the season. Maybe they'll tweak one of the records, or one of the scoring plays there, to give him an extra half sack on that, or full sack really on that first one we thought was going to be the one that tied the record, that aborted snap. I don't think they will, but we'll see. I'm not going to rule it out. Probably get our answer by Wednesday on that's usually when stat corrections happen, at least at the latest. And so what a game by the Stars. Again, I've talked about it a lot that the Stars themselves can't carry this whole defense, but they need to play like stars every single week for Pittsburgh to have a chance. And T.J. Watt did that. Kim Hayward did that. Minka Fitzpatrick, though, I think things got a little shaky with the run defense. That was bad across the board. That punch out he had against Hollywood Brown with 25 seconds to go in the fourth quarter, that saved the game. That saved the season. If he doesn't knock that football out, I mean, the Ravens have the ball in Pittsburgh territory, two timeouts, and they're basically in Tucker's range at that point, another 10 yards, and they're like firmly in Justin Tucker's range, 57 yards, something like that. Probably would have been the kick if they get 10 more yards. And so those guys made big plays for sure. Again, defensively, wasn't all rosy, 205, whatever it was, 200 plus yards on the ground is unacceptable. And there were definitely lapses there and big runs. The Ravens were not a big play running attack this year. The longest run coming in this game was 37 yards to rip off a 46-yard touchdown and a couple other, long runs in that game. But that's nothing new. I guess the one maybe good thing. Well, I don't want to get ahead of myself in postseason talk, but certainly will need to be cleaned up. And I think linebackers have to get off blocks. Pittsburgh just does a bad job against some of those gap runs where there's new gaps created and extra pullers, and you're trying to get the backside linebackers to stay clean and get off of blocks. Really, just do a bad job of that. I venture a guess that most of the big runs allowed by Pittsburgh this year in the run game have been those power runs, gap runs with pullers, and not, and less so the zone or even just true man blocking duo scheme. Some of that, of course, but I think most of it, I've had to guess, was because of pullers. But yeah, just overall, got pressure, got takeaways. That was big. Edmonds interception. the forced fumble or the fumble recovery, I should say, off the aborted snap, and some stars playing like stars in this game. To go to the Steelers offense here, wasn't pretty for sure. The first half offense in true Steelers form is pretty lackluster, but really impressed by the youth. And Mike Tomlin talked about that after the game. The young guys stepping up. Najee Harris to play through a pretty painful elbow injury and come back in the second half. Pat Frymuth making plays. McLeod, as much guff as we've all kind of given McLeod this year. Dude's fearless. The dude made some big plays both in the return game and as a receiver tonight. 20-yard catch on the go ahead fourth quarter touchdown drive, the 4th and 8 to set up the eventual Boswell field goal. I mean, those are just big time plays there. So kudos to McLeod in a really true, sincere way. But yeah, just overall the effort of some of these guys, especially guys like Harris and Frymuth, just the effort they show. They're really talented guys, but they really do the little things well. Harris out on perimeter blocks on Claypool runs, and Frymuth yards after catch and fighting for yards and stuff like that. Those guys really do the little things well, and that's really impressive for a couple of rookies who don't need to be shown that. They just kind of pick it up automatically. That's how they're wired and how they've played. And so you love to see that for sure. Ben, of course, vintage Ben, fourth quarter, overtime, the fourth quarter, the go ahead drive. He's what, 7-8 for 54 yards, a touchdown. That touchdown, the second read to Claypool. Claypool said somebody missed a hot and audible. So Ben had to come to Claypool and you made it work. And that's kind of just Ben in a nutshell. You made it work and you get the victory. Special teams, Boswell, excellent. I mean, what more can you say about Boswell? If it wasn't for Tristan Tucker, the whole NFL would talk more about Chris Boswell and the amazing elite kicker that he is. With Tucker overshadows him, and understandably so, I suppose. Harvin, not a good day for him. I don't know why Tomlin went Harvin over Waitman. I think Waitman should have been the guy. I said that during the week. I thought that when they had the inactive list, and so we'll see what the playoff game looks like. Because obviously, there's a assuming so again, no tie tonight between the Chiefs and Raiders. There'll be a postseason game to talk about. And I guess briefly we'll kind of end here because I don't want this video to run too long. I believe like 99% sure, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but Pittsburgh will take on Kansas City in the first round of the playoffs at Arrowhead. Of course, Kansas City's the 2 seed with Tennessee winning today, and Pittsburgh is going to be the 7 seed. And so a rematch against the Chiefs, who blew out Pittsburgh just a couple weeks ago. Pittsburgh will have a chance to get revenge. Will be a tough game, of course. Do I care? Not really, because I just want to see this team in the playoffs. You have a chance, and you never know what could happen, especially in this COVID environment. Not that you're hoping for anyone to get sick or be unavailable, but it's a reality of the NFL, a reality of the season. So Pittsburgh will be underdogs, but one last game for Ben. Hopefully more than that, but at least one more game for Ben, one more game for the Steelers team, and that's always a victory in my book. So, lot to recap, lot to go over. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please leave them in the comments below. And also, please like and subscribe if you guys have not done so already. Appreciate you listening, and we'll talk to you soon.